I couldn't disagree more, or did that never happen?
Well, we have a very clear division between my job as publisher and Bob's job as editor. And as a small independent publication, we're able to write whatever we want to write, and Bob can edit whatever he wants to edit. Essentially, the thing that drew me to the review was that I did agree with what the review wrote, and I still agree with it. I can't think of any piece that I've disagreed with. I know there are pieces that a number of contributors have disagreed with, and particularly some who've been, I mean, one of the very tricky things that Bob can speak better are contributors who write for the review and then they have their own books not very well reviewed, and it becomes a very complicated situation. But in the end, I have said I've agreed with all of the work that the review has done, and happily so.
A last question to Martin Scorsese. Is there one article or one political event where you would say, I needed the perspective of the New York Review most, where I really agreed with it, where I needed it?
Well, the one that comes to mind immediately is Vietnam. I was quite young, I was about 20 years old or 21, and I came from a world that was, not, it's very, very different from the world of the review. I found myself on the west side of New York. I'm on the east side, and in the west side to the east side, it was like going to another planet in terms of an open-mindedness from a world that I was in, which was very medieval in a way. It was a very small Sicilian village, in a sense, transplanted into downtown New York, and working class and lower working class, and so which had become quite conservative, by the way, after the Roosevelt years, and so I never really thought about any of that. It was a whole different world, and suddenly started picking up and was fascinated by the arguments that were posed and the points of view, which disturbed me at first. So then I picked up this magazine called Dissent. Right during I started reading that. I didn't quite understand most of it, but I started reading that during it was something about the Cuban crisis in '62, I think, or whatever, where it was 63, 62, and to get a sense of what that was, and foreign affairs, and I couldn't really understand that. But so it opened me to start reading James Baldwin, Go Tell It on the Mountain, The Fire Next Time, from a house, an apartment that we grew up where the reading was not a habit, there were no books there. See? So it was just struggling to find everything on my own, really, and this was the thing that started it.
Okay, thank you again for this marvelous film, and thanks for having published and edited this marvelous magazine for such a long time. And I want to add that Martin Scorsese and Margaret Boller brought something else to this very cinema. This evening there will be the restored version of Rebel Without a Cause, financed by the Film Foundation, and I want to thank you for that as well. And please try to come as well to that screening.